So, where we last left off, the gang went to the other side of the Carbon Bluffs to investigate the site of a meteorite that had fallen from the sky. They engaged in combat with what appeared to be an excavation team. And after getting a few samples of this meteorite that many of you suspect is this gate glass that seems to keep coming up, you quickly were becoming overrun by revenants and sovereignty forces, at which point you fled. Unfortunately, Virgil was left behind, knocked unconscious, and seemingly taken prisoner. In the midst of all that, Daru had, without reading into the associated documents inside this briefcase he found, injected himself with a substance that was simply labeled Omega Genetic Imprint, which caused him to become violently ill, seizing on the floor, and blacking out. Hyde was carrying him north to get away from the fighting, at which point Daru very briefly transformed into a box in the mud, and then transformed back into an unconscious Daru. So as we start our session today, it's Hyde, Daru, Ezra, and Fira that are running north away from the excavation.
Are they close behind us?
Yeah, they're pretty close behind.
Pretty close behind. Keep running, I guess.
Okay. So, after a short while, you get the sense that you're not actively being pursued, as it seems that the sovereignty has shifted their aggression.
Okay.
We should find Asher, right?
Is Asher
Yeah, you have
with us?
you have no idea where Asher is. You saw him run north, about 30 seconds before everyone else left, maybe. He was the first one out.
Can I use Kindred Sight on any birds nearby?
Nice.
Are there any limitations on that ability as far as how often you can use it? Does it say?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. It's just an action.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make a perception check to see if you can find any birds in the area.
I'll just use my flute to call them.
There you go. So you're going to magically bring about some birds. So,
Yes.
Fira, you start playing this flute. Softly, it sings out into the jungle.
So it's a past hour.
Okay, so the past hour. Okay. So sure enough, a little mockingbird comes by and lands on the flute and is just kind of chirping on your shoulder, much like the Disney princess that you are. And the scene sort of changes as your eyes grow wide and take on this bird-like visage. And Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
$23.
Okay. Okay. So with that, you see Asher continuously running far north from where you're at. With the elevation of this flying bird, you either lose track of him or notice that he stops about another 300 yards north.
Okay.
What you also notice is the excavation site with a lot of activity. First swarming where you all were, packing up and taking off, going towards the northeast.
Okay. I'll let everyone know.
Northeast. That's gotta be where they're taking Virgil, right?
Yeah.
Is Daru okay? What is up with Daru?
Daru's currently unconscious.
I'm going to try to use first healing word on him, first level.
Okay.
So it's gonna be 8 points of healing.
Okay, Daru, you gained 8 hit points.
Thank you. I don't say.
Daru is still unconscious.
He's still unconscious, okay.
You go ahead and make a medicine check.
21.
21?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you watched as he injected himself with whatever this thing was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was next to them.
You get the sense that has something to do with it, and you suspect some kind of poisoning or disease.
Okay.
You get the sense it's less of a matter of his vitality and more he may require some kind of restoration by a healer.
Okay. Well, I guess we gotta find Asher 300 yards. That's not that far.
Okay. So you're going to start looking for Asher. At this point, Hyde's pretty exhausted from carrying Daru. So he's going to set Daru down, and he's going to go look for Asher as well.
I'm gonna stay with Daru, and I'm gonna. Are we in the middle of a forest right now?
Yeah.
So there's no like roads or anything.
You know where the roads are, but you went north by northwest, and the roads are like east by northeast.
Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna cast Gentle Repose on Asher. Not. Wait. Well, I guess he's not dead, so it actually doesn't.
Yeah, he's breathing.
Yeah, he's breathing, so he's fine.
And he doesn't seem to be dying. It's just there's something that's some kind of toxin or something that's in his system right now.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just go find Asher.
Okay. So after traveling a bit north, okay, Asher, at this point, you've been hiding for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And you don't detect any sense that you were followed.
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to do, or are you going to continue to wait in your current position?
I'm gonna get out of the tree that I was in. sit at the base of it and just for now, that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit there and wait. I will have my throwing knives ready.
Okay.
But I'm just going to wait.
Okay. Shortly after you sit down, now it's been about maybe 15 or so minutes, you start to hear movement coming from the direction you were running. Something's kind of moving into this area.
I'd like to move into the shadows around the tree.
Okay.
If I can, stealthily.
Okay.
It's not great. $13.
Okay. So you feel like you're being pretty stealthy. So at this point, the only one looking for Asher was Hyde, right?
Yeah, I was gonna stay behind with Daru.
You were staying behind. Okay. So at this point, you hear Hyde's voice just say, Asher, come out.
I'll peek out.
You peek out and he just nods backwards for the direction he came. He says, come on. Daru's hurt and they got Virgil. Let's go.
I thought you guys were right behind me. Okay. I'll start walking with him.
Okay. Okay. So at this point, with Daru unconscious, Hyde and Asher coming back, does anyone else want to do anything?
Can I try to find some like herbs that might help Daru?
Go ahead and make a nature check.
3. I do have an herbalism kit. I don't know if that helps.
This is more for being able to find the actual herbs. The herbalism kit would help you craft herbs into something.
Okay.
If you have anything in your inventory, you could attempt to use the shared recipes that you guys know to make a potion. With your herbalism kit, you could do that. But you'd kind of have to put your heads together with, someone who knows what recipes you guys have access to.
Let me check.
Unfortunately, this is kind of the sort of thing that was in Virgil's wheelhouse, kind of being a dedicated healer. Okay.
What does Angel Tears do?
Angel Tears would be a restorative potion.
Okay. I mean, we know how to make that, but we need Lucent Aspect. So I don't know if we'd be able to craft it.
All right. So as you guys kind of go over I would say I doubt you have this stuff, but if you had a diamond, powdered silver, or holy water, you could attempt to distill any of those materials into this aspect.
Ain't that some shit? I got some holy water.
Yeah, I remember you bought some holy water.
Yep.
So is Daru just unconscious on the ground?
So at this point, Asher and Hyde come back. Asher, you see Daru just unconscious on the ground with like this black bile-like substance that is coming out of his ears, his eyes, his nose, and his mouth.
Jesus.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'd like to go
Sounds
over
bad.
to him and kneel beside him. I'm gonna put both of my hands on the sides of his head and really focus mentally, just trying to communicate with him. like telepathically.
Okay, are you using your psionic feature?
I mean, that's more for emotions, but yeah, I'm down to do that. Yeah, I'd like to know how he feels right now. If he feels.
Okay. Make an insight check and go ahead and add a d4.
19.
19?
Yeah.
As you peer into his mind, you sense that he is alive, not conscious, and it's strange. You immediately get a cold chill because as soon as you look into his mind, you just get the feeling. It's strange. You almost feel like you're not alone, and you feel like you're being watched.
Guys, someone else is in there. I mean, Dart is in there, and he's alive, but there's like another presence. I don't know how to explain it. Like somebody was watching me, but I don't know. What happened? Why is he? What is this stuff? I'd like to kind of like wipe some of the stuff off his face.
Okay.
I'm not taking damage from this at all.
What's that?
I'm not taking damage from this at all.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm gonna use detect poison and disease, and that's also gonna tell me the kind of poisonous creature or disease in the case.
Guys, what happened to Daru?
I don't know.
So as Asher asks that, Ezra kind of just kneels down and casts a spell. You get the sense that currently Daru is under the effects of a very aggressive mutagenic toxin that is essentially breaking down and rewriting his DNA. You get the sense that the worst of it is over, and given time, he should recover, albeit he'll be different. But you do get the sense that he could probably benefit from some sort of restoration, if that's possible.
Yeah. Okay. I think he's gonna be okay.
What do you mean, okay? People who are okay don't bleed out of their eyes and ears and nose.
Well, he injected himself with something. I don't know what it was.
As a note, Hyde kind of reaches over and grabs what looks like a briefcase that has he opens it, has the other two vials and also the like a short pamphlet in there.
What's the pamphlet say? What's on the pamphlet?
You look over it. What languages do you speak?
Abyssal and Common.
Okay. This is actually Abyssal.
Holy
What?
Ugh.
You, based on the content, you get the sense that the use of Abyssal has less to do with it being a demonic thing and more to do with kind of, it's almost a cipher, as Abyssal is not a language that anyone speaks. So it's essentially like kind of invisible ink almost. And funnily enough, not all of it is in Abyssal. Some of it is in a language that looks very similar to Abyssal, but is different.
I'm
Um,
gonna show it to Fira. Can you read the other stuff?
Fira, what languages do you speak?
Abyssal, Common, Druidic, Dwarvish, and Elvish.
You get the same as her.
Okay.
And what
Can
is
just show it to everyone?
Yeah.
All right. What languages does I don't think Hyde doesn't speak this language. Asher does not speak this language.
No one knows.
Dar is unconscious.
Okay. Well, what does the abyssal part say? What's up with the abyssal part?
It kind of it's almost like peppered in. Some parts are abyssal. It's not like
nothing that I can...
it's not like a whole page is abyssal.
Okay.
Go ahead and make an investigation check because you kind of have to piece together. Like the language switches.
What was
as
that?
You read on
an intelligence check?
Investigation.
Oh, investigation. 14.
14. It speaks of the latest batch of gene vectors that have come out of the trials from the Forerunner labs. These are for, it speaks of how would I put this? It talks about revenants, and it talks about their kind of fluid genetic code and how they can essentially be reprogrammed. And it refers to the latest batch as Revenant 3s, which is what this was to be for.
Okay.
Are you saying we're turning Daru into a revenant?
It looks like he's, yeah. He turned into a box.
You
So
don't
it's already
Box?
you don't find anything on the mu and the lambda vectors,
Okay.
but you do find bits and pieces with that roll. You find bits and pieces on the omega vector, and there are a couple words that ring a bell. There is a mention of using a virus known as lichanovirus to essentially transmit genetic code to the genome of a creature known as Dentamyces mimus.
Okay.
Wait, a lichen virus? Like a werewolf?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd say along with that, based on the parts you can gather, it seems there is a continued fascination or occurrence of a certain theme, and that phrase that keeps coming up is shifter variant, and its utility in kind of transferring the flexibility of a genetic code.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. They were trying to get Hyde. Maybe it was for this.
They were trying to get Hyde?
Remember, Hyde and Virgil got taken and we stopped them. And maybe that person was trying to get them for this test or something.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Hyde is a
I mean, if they
shifter.
wanted Hyde, they would have taken Hyde. They had Hyde.
What do you mean they had Hyde?
It was Hyde or Virgil. I mean, Hyde had to walk away and leave Virgil behind. So I don't think they wanted Hyde.
And they went through the trouble of trying to kidnap him earlier. Remember, after we got out of that scary house? So
Yeah, I remember. I don't know. I'm gonna start wild cutting. And
Okay.
I'm gonna start making us a camp.
Okay. So you guys are taking a short rest or a long rest?
I think we gotta take a long rest.
do you think it's safe to make a camp so close to the crash site?
Thera, did you see anyone at the camp? Through the Mockingbird?
It seems like everyone went northeast.
Yeah, so I think we should be fine.
Okay.
But, I mean, we can keep watch.
I'll call my python to keep watch.
I forgot you had that thing. You always pick the worst animals. I mean, what do we do about Virgil?
I think like one thing at a time, and Dara needs to recover first if we want to go get Virgil.
Yeah.
I agree with Vera. Or at least Star needs to stabilize, be able to walk.
Yeah. I wish we didn't have to leave him behind.
I feel kind of bad. Virgil's always been really nice.
Hmm?
So I feel bad. Virgil's always been really nice.
Yeah. He took the deal to bring you back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, as soon as... Yeah. What did you see, Asher?
What do you mean?
I mean, I saw you run through the bushes and you were gone.
What did I see when?
When you ran, I mean, did you stop? Did you look back?
No, I just kept running. I told me to run, so I ran. He's usually right behind me, so I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize how fast I've gotten. It's still kind of new.
Yeah.
This,
Ezra, make an insight check for me.
17?
Okay.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit by the campfire and stare into it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to cast fuck, never mind, I don't have it. Yeah, I do. I'm gonna try to cast Sending, just for the hell of it. I'm gonna think of Virgil and try to imagine him, and I'm gonna send out a message. Virgil, can you hear me? Where are you?
DM, do I hear anything?
I'm reading the spell to try to see how this interacts with certain things. I would say at this point, there is no response. As at this point in where you were, you would not be in a state where you could hear this message.
Okay.
So there's no response.
No response from Virgil.
no.
Okay. So with this, are you guys taking a long rest?
I think so. I don't think there's anything
Hey,
else I'm gonna do.
Fira,
Yeah.
you did some pretty cool stuff out there. Hey, I feel really, really bad about killing that guy with the briefcase.
It happens.
Like, I mean, the Revenants, I mean, they were trying to hurt us. That guy was just trying to get away.
It's just part of the job. Well, it's gonna happen. It happens to most people in this field.
I mean, I didn't feel bad about killing that guy that was hurting you, because, you know, but I don't want to just kill people.
You should talk to Ezra. She's good with things associated with death. Maybe she could give you something to settle you down with.
Okay. Hey, Ezra,
Yeah.
So Asher goes over to Ezra.
do you feel bad when you had to kill people?
Really depends. Depends on who they are, what they do.
I didn't mean to kill the guy with the briefcase. I was just trying to slow him down.
Think about it like this. Everyone is gonna die someday. And in the timeline of events, you just happen to be the person who do it. And you know, the fact that he was here, the fact that he's involved in this, he's probably guilty of something.
As
Or
a note,
not.
you still have the business card, or like the little card that he left,
Yeah.
if you remember.
Yeah. Can I take that out?
Mm-hmm.
And I know it said Office of Astral Intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did it have a name on it? Anything on it?
No.
Nothing.
It seems like it's almost more of like a badge of authority.
Yeah.
Can I
I'll
see
hand it to Asher. Yeah.
Is it okay if I hold on to this?
Keep it. Just don't beat yourself up too much about it. Death is a natural part of the cycle.
Okay. I'm gonna find somewhere to sleep, kind of
Okay.
a little bit of ways away from the fire.
All right.
I have a question for the DM. White opal, what does that create? What aspect does that create?
White opal, I believe, creates haunted aspect.
You kept that holy water, Virgil?
Virgil's not here.
I mean, okay, it's not in the bag. It's not in our bag of holy, because it's here, but I don't know if Ricky had it or if it was in our bag.
That was what I set myself up with personally.
Okay.
I don't think
So that was on your person?
That was on my.
That was on
person.
your person. Okay, so these two, and it was two of them, right?
I only remember buying one.
Okay, we have 2 holy waters in our inventory.
I think we found a holy water way back at the beginning
with the
goblins.
Well, yeah, and the were rats.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna take one of the holy waters then, and I'm gonna try to get some lucent aspect out of it.
Okay. Go ahead and make an alchemy check to see if you can successfully distill it.
Okay. What does alchemy check involve?
Intelligence, proficiency.
Ooh, I rolled a natural 19, 22, 23 total.
Okay. In this moment of inspiration, before you're going to bed, essentially, you remember, you think you came across something that you thought was holy water, and you go in and you grab it, and you distill it pretty adeptly, and you have this faint magical substance that's left over, which could potentially be enough of the lucent aspect if you wish to attempt to synthesize.
Yeah, I mean, we have A tier additive, but that's expensive. Is Daru worth it?
How dare you?
Shit.
What?
How dare
Is
you?
that even really a question?
I'm glad Virgil's not there.
Okay, this is what I'm just thinking, like,
Sure.
from my detected disease, I get the sense that the worst is over, right? So it's just a matter of time. But okay, you know what? I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna try to make it. I'm gonna try to use the A tier additive and the lucent aspect.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of base we need. We have 1 synthetic base and 9 aromatic bases.
So
Aromatic bases.
So let me ask you this. You do know that with the angel tears, there are multiple levels
Yeah, so it's gonna
of
be a really
restoration
high
that you
level
need. You get the sense you wouldn't need the higher level one, but the higher level one will work.
But that's the only one we have. So
If that's the
I'm
only
gonna
one you
use that.
have, then it's your choice.
Yeah. I'm gonna use
Okay.
it then.
Okay. With your last roll, I'm not going to make you. I'll consider this part of the same check. Sure enough, you distill some greater angel's tears.
Okay.
And do you want to give it to Daru?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Fear to help me with this. Look what I made. I'll show her the little vial.
Will it work?
Let's try it out. This is
All
my
right.
first time making it, so fingers
Just try.
crossed. Yeah, and then I'll give it to Daru.
Okay. Go ahead and make a. There's no check that needs to be made. You, unconscious, kind of tilt his head up and essentially feed him this little tincture you have. And at this point, you notice there were some almost black, like veins that were kind of on the skin just around his orbits that were becoming more prominent. And as soon as you give him that, they recede. And with that, Daru regains consciousness, kind of coughing up more of this black ichor.
Sweet.
It worked.
So Daru, because of that, that does negate the strength penalty that you would have had.
Woo.
Oh, sweet. Holy shit. I assume I feel horrible.
Yes, you feel like your insides have been just completely scrambled and replaced with something else. This might sound odd, but there are parts of your body, especially like the inside, you just feel like numb almost everywhere.
You okay, Daru?
Okay. Probably not. I'm gonna slowly get up.
Do you remember turning into a box?
What? No. Don't really. I'm gonna look at my arm. Is it where I like stab myself? Is it like infected or anything, or like looking nasty?
As you look at it, the arm is completely, I'm not going to say normal, because as you look at it, the skin is almost like unnaturally smooth. There is no hair, and your skin has no imperfections whatsoever. Like you naturally had some kind of like freckles and sunspots. They're all gone.
My beauty marks.
It almost
Sorry.
looks like the. I mean, it sounds kind of odd, but it almost looks like the hand of like a mannequin, or like if someone made like an android, like a really good android. That's what it looks like. It's just like
That's
a little
weird.
too perfect.
That's weird.
That's weird.
It's not super noticeable. It's just because it's your body. You know.
Well, thank you, Ezra.
I had to use some of your stuff. I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all. Can I? I'm gonna. Does anybody have that notebook?
Pamphlet?
Yeah, it was like a notebook. Yeah.
A little pamphlet.
Could I see the? Yeah, could I see the notebook?
Yeah. I'll hand it to him.
I'm gonna read to Omega.
What language did he speak?
Deep speech.
So as you try navigating through it, the portion on the one that you took is not available. You can't read that. It's not in a language you understand. However, make an investigation check for me, please.
29.
Holy shit.
Natural 18.
Oh my god.
Okay. Okay. With that, reading on the Mu genomic imprint, it talks about essentially rewriting the way that this particular variant of Revenant, how their blood cells function, such that their blood cells at any given time can be initiated or programmed to hemolyze and break down such that they can be used or sacrificed as a catalyst for hemocraft, blood magic. So it's essentially like...
He thinks in his head, I chose the wrong fucking one.
Hey, Alex, I got to log off to switch my network, so I'll be just invite
Sure.
me back in when I.
Sure thing.
Thanks, bud.
That's a bummer, though. I really should have read.
Are you feeling okay? I mean,
Where's Virgil?
About that. We had to leave him behind.
That's fucking gunk and shit.
Or run.
So we need.
he's alive. They kept him alive for some reason. They were gonna kill him if we didn't run away, so.
As a note, Daru, you notice, I mean, right off the bat, that as you're talking to Ezra, she looks fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, Fira, I imagine, is not looking too great either.
Actually, not bad.
I'm at 2 hit
I
points
mean-
right now.
Fira's on the
Two.
borderline of being, like,
Yeah.
bloodied.
God.
Fira's, like, just above half, but, like, you get the sense that your party, like,
He lost and ran.
yeah, it was a rough situation, it looks like.
Did you guys? We should be chasing him then, right? I mean,
They're going northeast, right, Fira? Northeast?
Yes.
Yeah, northeast. I mean,
Honestly, though, I feel like if we don't rest, we're just gonna be a nuisance. Like,
Yeah.
we won't be able to achieve anything.
Yeah, they said you turned into a box.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna close my eyes and focus on the image of a box.
Okay.
See if I can turn into a box.
You all watch us for a couple seconds. Daru seemingly ignores Asher's comment and just kind of closes his eyes. And moments pass, nothing.
Huh.
all of a
You
sudden
hear what
there's
I
this
said?
shifting sound,
Oh, wait, what?
and Daru disappears, and
What?
there where he stood plops a little box,
The
and the
hell?
notebook
No way.
lands on top of the box.
Oh my god. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit,
Daru.
holy shit, holy shit. What
While
the
you are
fuck?
in this form, you cannot see, you cannot hear. You feel nothing but coldness and this sense, it's almost like stepping out of the universe itself and just stepping into the void. You feel nothing, you hear nothing, you see nothing. You almost fear that your sense of the passage of time is skewed. And you just have this kind of, it inspires this sense of almost impending doom.
Yeah. as
Or
soon as-
unrealized doom.
Back. Change back. Go back.
Okay.
Get
With
away.
that, you immediately change back.
Yeah.
And Daru's
There
just
it is.
standing there.
That was cool.
This is amazing.
Scary.
Can you turn into a spoon? Think about a spoon.
Wait,
I
guys.
don't want to.
Maybe this game is not a good game. Maybe don't use it unless it's an emergency or something.
It's probably a good idea.
I mean, it's good to know how
Yeah.
your power works, though, no?
It seems to have reacted good with your body. Like, even though you had some side effects, it worked.
Some side effects.
Well,
He was bleeding out of his eyes and ears and nose.
Scraping goop out of my ears.
I mean, you feel okay, right?
I look good. God damn. I feel okay.
I wonder what would happen. I'm not saying do it, but if you were to take the other two.
You know, Fira, I was
three?
thinking that exact idea.
Oh my god.
I
Sorry,
feel
I
like-
lagged out. Did I heard other two?
Seems very
Did I miss
stupid.
anything?
Just the other ones, yeah. I mean,
Okay. I was just making sure Dara wasn't like, I immediately take the other two. I missed it.
Oh, push me.
maybe we should figure out what's in the book.
We should figure out what it says first, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can do something about that tomorrow morning.
Okay.
They had vehicles, right? We could follow their vehicle tracks.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear vehicles driving away?
We know they're going towards the northeast section.
In the vehicles, right?
That's where.
Northeast?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Northeast, what is there in Northeast?
The only thing northeast is a city known as the Port of Tempest.
Which is where Virgil is from.
Right.
It's a weird place to go.
Would they know where I'm from?
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it came up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hey. We gotta get Virgil, but do we have a time limit on this find a rock thing that we're doing?
Is that a serious question?
Yeah. It's a serious question.
I don't think there was a time limit, no. But even if
Like,
there was,
if there
fuck
was-
it.
We gotta find
Yeah,
get
go get
Virgil
Virgil.
first. I was just wondering if we need to skip the long rest to find Virgil, or if I can take a fucking cat nap because I am still exhausted.
Ezra looks a little pissed right now. She's not gonna say anything.
Sorry that I died and I'm trying to pay my debt back.
Did you just suggest going off by yourself?
No, all I'm saying is, do we need to leave right now for Virgil, or can we rest first? That's the only thing I was wondering. I'm not suggesting anyone leave. I'm not suggesting we forget about Virgil and drop this rock off. I'm just trying to get a timetable in my head.
Let's rest now. In the morning. Let's go get Virgil. Who cares about this stone? We'll figure that out whenever we find Virgil.
sorry for trying to.
Okay. So you guys are taking a long rest?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna wait. And then later on I'm gonna go talk to Asher.
Okay.
Trouble.
Funnily enough, you notice Daru's awake as well.
Oh, hey, Daru.
Walks over. Real quick, I see we both want to say something to you.
So Asher, you notice at this point, Daru and Ezra approach you. It almost looks like they're like, oh shit, you're here too.
Just be more brave, I say to Asher, and then I walk away.
Are you doing okay, Asher?
No. I'm not.
Can I ask, did you get scared? Did you...
Yeah, I got really scared. I killed a guy I didn't mean to. There are people trying to kill me. I died once and got put in a fucking box. I'm just afraid. I'm just a kid. I know this body is an adult, but I'm still 13. There's a lot of stuff is happening and it's really scary. Fucking Daru turned into a goddamn box. Virgil got kidnapped. I mean, it's a lot is happening. I don't know how to process it. Sorry.
You know, Asher, you are only a kid, and you've seen some pretty bad stuff. And, you know, you have the privilege of being able to go back to the sink and being safe, right?
Yeah, but I can't leave Hyde.
At this point, Hyde speaks up and he says, Asher, if you want to go, I'll take you. We don't need to do this.
We gotta get Virgil back at least. He's like family.
We'll do everything we can, but, you know, we have to know that you're in this with us. You can't run away like that.
Hey, I
We
just
have
did
to
what
know
Hyde
that you
told
have
me
our
to
backs,
do.
okay?
I got your backs.
That Hyde says, who's kind of been sitting there the whole time, he says, you know, Asher, maybe you and I will stick a little closer together then, huh?
Yeah, maybe it's good.
Maybe no more. Maybe we'll leave more of the scouting stuff to Daru, and you just kind of hang back for a bit.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Asher, I mean, it's okay to be afraid. You just have to know how to face that fear.
Alright.
I'm gonna give Asher a hug.
I'm gonna kind of awkwardly reciprocate.
Okay.
Alright, good night, guys. And then I'm gonna go and take a long rest.
All right. With that, you guys can make the changes of a long rest, everybody. I'm gonna take a 2-minute bathroom break. You guys go ahead and think really hard about, for the spellcasters, what spells you're preparing, things like that. Because
This is
Just-
big, guys.
all right, I'll be right back.
Relevant spells.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh my god.
And I totally get how it is playing a child.
So I'm
I-
trying to do
I
it.
get
I
you.
don't want to like try not to overdo it too, but you know. It's just,
You're not.
thanks, thanks, Pierce. I almost got the darn for reals. It's hard because I see your face in the corner since Daru. I just want to say.
Man.
Oh shit, guys.
Oh, Virgil.
I know it.
Boom, 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 boom. I wonder if the Revenants are gonna be on us now.
Oh, no,
That's a
dog.
good question. It's only a matter. Well, I mean, yeah. We're not very good at being disguised. We kind of.
Yeah. We literally just ran in here.
You got the ultimate disguise now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
box.
A box.
A box.
I can turn to a box and one of you can get inside of me.
Ugh. No.
What happens if they open you up?
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
wonder
have
what's
no
in here.
idea.
How does it we're inside and return back?
It gets complicated.
It's complicated.
I do want to see what else you can turn into, though.
We assume anything he sets his mind. That's an object, right? I mean,
I think it's pretty much the same thing as those mimics.
games. Quit
Shit.
clicking.
Does anyone have anything for languages? Comprehend languages? I thought I had it. I don't.
What the fuck, man? That's what I got.
God damn it, Virgil.
Ah,
God damn it.
missing Virgil in many ways, it
Ugh,
seems.
Oh god. You know what I'm gonna do?
It's when you set yourself up as a.
Now, how stupid would it be to
Asset.
just mainline both of the other ones?
I don't think that's stupid at all, man.
Oh, you're back.
I think you should do it personally, but
Fuck it, I've made peace with whatever the fuck is gonna happen today.
so at
That
this
being
point,
said, I don't
we're gonna
want that.
shift over to Virgil.
Oh god.
Yeah, I need time to think.
Alright. Alright, let me get into character.
Fade to black.
So, Virgil,
Mhm.
after the events of last night, you were able to take a long rest. You are more or less alone in the same cell. Your tabaxi companion was moved to a different cell or different location. You don't even know if she's alive. At this point, you hear soft footfalls. And in the cold dark of your prison cell, you sense a warm presence. Even without looking, you can feel the presence of your mother, Evelyn.
I look in the direction of the opening of the cell, the bars.
It's not okay.
Yeah, the bars.
Yeah.
The bars. And I say, "It is good to see you, mother."
She says, "It's good to see you too, son. I know it was difficult for you since you left, but I just want you to know that I was watching you the whole time."
How so?
Sorry, my internet. Did I cut out?
I just said you were watching me the whole time.
Okay, perfect. Your face is all froze.
Okay, and I asked you how so.
She says, the gift of sight is one that runs within our bloodline. I'm sure you will learn it soon enough.
Perhaps, and I say sarcastically, one day.
She says, listen, I think you can tell it's gotten bad here. Things weren't great when the sovereignty ruled over the port, but I fear that these angels, the scourge, I fear that they're not the saviors that we think that they are. But no matter what happens tomorrow, I think your brother is going to give you a chance to join him. And I think you should take it.
To what end, Mother?
About 3 years ago, your father began making runs to the Oblivion Rig again. It was a difficult time. And, well, one day he went out on the boat and never came back. And he's been lost to my sight ever since. I fear that I'm losing Mason to this new zealotry. And you're all I've got left to lose. So I'm asking you as your mother, don't throw your life away.
If I live to see the sun rise, Mother, and I join Mason in his crusade, and I begin to revel in the destruction of this world as he and his followers and the Scourge seem to do. You will lose Virgil. And in his place, a darker man will stand.
With that, you notice she looks very distraught right now. And with that, she, without saying any words, you just hear the cell door. You hear this popping sound, and it just pops open. Then we don't have any time. Come. We must get you out of the city before your brother. And at this point, you hear the booming voice of your brother from behind. Just say, "Good evening, Mother." A little late, isn't it? And with that, you see the large, hulking figure of Mason step forward with two Celestials at his back. And at this point, you watch as your mother begins to protest and almost in a yell just says, "Mason," and it's cut short as one of the Celestials waves a hand. And it seems that your mother is just completely silent. She's still talking, but no sound is coming out.
Another cage for your subjects, brother.
With that, he just looks at you. with seemingly an undeserved amount of disdain. And he just nods towards the female celestial next to him and just says, Ashael. And she runs forward and very roughly grabs your mother by the back of the arm and just starts dragging her out of the prison. At which point, as soon as she leaves a certain area, you feel her protests once again become audible as she's just striking at the arms of the angel, not really making any progress, and she's dragged out of the prison.
With fury in my eyes, I look at Mason in his eyes and say, is this the honor of our family?
And with that, Mason steps forward, and he doesn't close the cage, he stands at the opening of it, seemingly almost goading on this fury within you. And he says, oh, but you have no family, brother. You tried to kill me when all I asked was for you to uphold our honor and to do your duty.
Asked, did you? Funny how loudly these speak for you. I gesture to them. Hands.
He just shakes his head and said, you had to learn, little brother. As we all
I
do.
learned quite a bit that day, brother.
You know, when the Scourge first made contact with us, I was one of the first ones chosen. Not that you would know or care, but after our disagreement, I was quite disfigured. And with that, he kind of casts a basic cantrip. And you watch as he almost creates this illusory visage over his face that just shows this absolutely like irradiated side of his face where parts of the cheek are almost burned down to the bone. He says, they've taught me how to heal my form, but... And he just kind of touches the side of his face and he says, I can still feel the difference. The only reason you're alive right now is because my mother begged it of me. Now when the sun comes up, you're going to stand in front of our people as you did all those years ago. And out of love for my mother, you will have a choice. You can join our cause and attempt to prove yourself as a warrior, or you can die at my hand. And with that, he slams the cell door shut, and as he just grabs the two metal pieces, and his eyes burn with radiance, and he fuses them together. And he says, I pray to the gods you choose the latter, brother. And with that, he turns his back and begins walking away.
I say after him as he's leaving, it's amazing. The glory of a choice, isn't it, brother? And I turn my back to the cage.
The last words spoken as he just turns the corner out of eyesight. With that, we go back to our group.
Oof. How are you feeling, Ricky?
I feel like the improv between Alex and I is on par here. This is good. All
We're
right.
gonna have to fuck tomorrow just to get all that.
Who's hard right now?
And then on OnlyFans, right? I also subscribe.
That's right. $100. Show you my toe.
So, with that, the day is yours. You've all seemingly thought out your plans, run them over many times. What are you all doing?
So what's the plan, guys?
Oh, that's right. Can you make a vehicle?
I can make a vehicle. I can talk to Virgil if he's awake. I can also speak to Dad if you want to head back to the camp and see if we could figure something out like that.
Do you guys think it's worth it?
While they're talking, I want to kind of go through the data that I got from the computer.
Okay. That's gonna take a while to do.
Okay.
So, are you like?
Is it?
Are you gonna stop for like? Are you gonna spend like an hour or something? How long do you want to spend doing it?
Is it like raw data that I have to like decrypt or something, or is it like,
Some of it is. But a lot of it is just sorting through the noise.
Can I set it to like automatically decrypt as we're traveling, so it can be ready for me later?
No,
No, I have to.
you don't
like,
really have that
activate-
kind of.
I have to actively decrypt it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll wait until we have more time.
Okay.
Or if we get in a vehicle, I'll do it.
Okay.
Backseat or something.
I could try to reach Virgil first.
If you're fine spending your reserves on that, I'm sure we can pick up a trail, figure out where he's going.
Are we linked psionically? Or can't we just talk to him through that?
I think they have to be probably within like a certain range.
Oh.
Hello, Virgil? Hello?
Virgil,
Nothing.
Virgil. No, I'm gonna spend one. I'm gonna try to talk to him once.
Sending spell.
Once. Sending, yeah.
Okay.
Virgil, if you can hear me, tell me where you are so we can try to get you.
Okay. You hear that?
I do.
You do.
Do I know how to respond?
Yeah, you have a general sense. You hear it in your head, and you feel almost this strange like warmth at the base of your skull that's kind of almost like orbiting within the base of your skull, almost as though it's waiting for a telekinetic response.
Ezra. I am home. I don't have a lot of time. So please tell the rest of you, my family, live well and always be true to yourselves. We are who we choose to be. End message.
All right.
In a normal voice, though. Those were his last words.
All right. In response to that, I'm going to use first level infallible relay on Virgil. If there is any kind of
What DM's thinking? He's thinking.
Interesting.
can be any functioning speaker within 100 feet of him.
Yeah. So with that, first off, Virgil, I'd like you to make a charisma saving throw.
Damn, I got a fucking modifier 19. I rolled an 11.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, damn.
That's okay. It doesn't mean that it fails. It just means Virgil is not compelled to do anything.
Okay.
So with this, Virgil, you hear this staticky sound. And you hear this cacophony of whispers coming out of the prison PA system. It sounds like almost like rushing, like hundreds of rushing voices just moving past. And that white noise seems to maintain its presence the whole time as Ezra's voice rings through it.
Okay, Virgil, I did not like that answer, so you're gonna just have to help me out here. We know you're at the Port of Tempest. What's up? What's going on?
I am going to either join my brother, who now leads my people, or he will assuredly kill me.
At this point, the prison guards are now running around kind of dumbfounded at what's happening. And you hear one of them, Virgil, just yelling like, yeah, I tried resetting it. It won't turn off. And the other one's like, find the circuit breaker. So at this point, they're just arguing.
Okay, Virgil, I mean, we're on our way.
Just let the whole fucking prison know, why don't you?
As a note, it's
I don't...
it's strange. Virgil, you feel like you can
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Oh,
what
no,
she's
Alex.
saying through the cacophony of voices.
Okay. Do they
But-
hear it?
You get the sense that to them it's just a garble of voices. Even to you, like you can't really hear her voice. You can more. It's very odd. You almost feel like you can hear it because she's trying to tell it to you. But if you just listen to what you're hearing, it's a cacophony of these ghostly voices, and one of the voices in the hundreds is hers.
Ezra, I know you have a good heart. I have to ask, because I cannot stop you from choosing to come. Please do not kill my people.
Okay, I promise we won't.
Thank you, my friend.
I'm gonna end the spell.
Okay. With
And I'll
that,
let the group know.
the spell ends. Right as Virgil, you hear this crash as one of the guards has like unscrewed the PA speaker from its housing and dropped it, and it lands on the floor, and he goes, "Oh shit!" That's it.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll let the
I
group
lay
know.
down in bed.
Yeah.
So he's going to join his brother? That's his plan?
I don't think he has a plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Seems like he's unsure still.
You know, Virgil, I feel like he would die just to not be like them.
We better get a move on then.
Yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna start the ritual to get a vehicle.
Okay.
Find vehicle.
Okay. So you spend 10 minutes doing that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And once you conjure this vehicle, you're headed to the Port of Tempest.
Northeast towards the Port of Tempest, yeah. I mean, on the
Okay.
way there, we gotta talk. Like, what do we don't even know what we're walking into right now.
Mm-mm.
Is there anything way for us to know? Is there a way for us to know what we're walking into? Like, can we figure that out? Or are we just gonna have to go balls to the wall?
He asked me not to kill anyone of his people.
Okay.
I say we get closer and try to see what's going on. Has
Okay.
anyone been
Yeah.
to the Port of Tempest before?
Not me.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
At the very least, we need, before we do anything, we need to find out where he is. That way we're not just running blindly throughout everything.
Yeah. Let's get closer and see what's going on then.
Yeah.
You begin driving in that direction.
Yeah. I guess.
Okay. Who's driving?
I guess either me or Fira.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell you what, one of you guys drive, one of you guys give me a perception check. As I'm going to assume both you guys are sitting in the front.
You should probably drive, Fira. I don't trust myself right
You
now.
don't feel that good. Okay.
I might turn into a box while driving. I don't know. That's a 4 for perception.
Oh.
Okay.
Ugh.
All right.
Oh my god.
Oh, kitty.
Damon!
So, is there anything you guys want to talk about as you're driving towards there?
I want to start going through all that info.
Okay. Make a straight intelligence check.
Good thing I'm a smart boy.
Smart boy.
Didn't make it in the box. That's 21.
21.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm a smart boy.
Okay. So you're gonna have choices as far as what you're looking into because you only have a certain amount of time.
I understand.
So certain details that are discussed are there's a whole section that just discusses meteorites, things falling from the sky.
Okay.
There's one that discusses something called, it's a whole section on celestial machinery.
Okay.
There is one that discusses essentially an investigation into a Mr. and Mrs. Danger.
Wait.
There is a very large section covering there's essentially like a massive mega folder that is Project Revenant.
I want to look into that for sure.
Okay.
I can revisit some of these other
I'll say-
categories later, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Um,
Because meteors, though.
you can as you're kind of are you skimming, or are you trying to get like a broad sense of everything, or do you want me to give you more like multiple choice keywords?
Give me the keywords.
Okay. There's essentially Revenant 1s, Revenant 2s, Revenant 3s, and there is a very, very corrupted section that's called the Precursors, and it's a lot of this is actually just straight up redacted, and it's labeled Project Icarus.
So, Daru took the stuff for Revenant 3, right?
3, yeah.
I want to read on that.
Is this visible? Could
Okay.
I be looking over his shoulder or sitting next to Asher?
I'm in the back.
Okay.
Sorry.
He's in the back. You're in the front.
That's right. Yeah.
If he shares, you can kind of pitch in, but
Can I look at it?
so
I'm in the back
Sure.
with him.
yeah, I mean,
I'll just be peeking over.
okay. So let me see. You rolled a 21. So information you get on Revenant 3s is that in a partnership between the Biogen campus and Foreigner Labs in an umbrella project that's been overseen by the Office of Astral Intelligence. The Revenant 3s were the first class of Revenants that were not essentially that were not started as children.
Oh my god.
They found a way to take soldiers and volunteers and essentially temper them with the same genetic and cybernetic alterations to somewhat achieve the effect of the prior revenants. It kind of goes over the pros and cons. The biggest pro is psychological stability, as they discuss it's in very vague terms, but they discuss complications of prior generations. And it very vaguely mentions the absolute failure that was Project Icarus that only had 2 survivors. And I'll say that's about all you get with this amount of time that you spent.
Well, Dario,
Huh? What?
good news and bad news. Good news. The stuff you took is made for adults,
Not children's formula. That's good.
not children.
As a note, Asher, as you're saying this, you think, wait. And you're like, I gotta recheck something.
Okay, so
You go back and you kind of recheck, and when you're reading into the specific genomic imprints, you kind of glossed over this before but didn't realize the significance of it until now. You read that any attempts to imprint human subjects that were not already altered were still failures.
what do you mean?
So you get the sense that although the imprints were meant, the new revenants were adults, but the imprints is not what made them revenants. This is like a thing on top of that. And you don't get any information on what it is that makes revenants, but you do get the sense that whatever this stuff is kills people.
Strike that, Daru. Bad news and bad news.
Oh, good.
The first bad news is they were using children as test subjects. The bad news is what you took should kill you. Might kill you. Probably is going to kill you.
That first one, though. So they were testing these on kids.
Yeah, so they would do it on kids. Kids would become revenants. They would grow up.
No,
Well,
that's not. So
No.
the imprints that you got, this is something to augment the evolution of a revenant that was already created. When you were reading on the Revenant 3 project, you were reading that the revenants that they were creating were the first class of revenants that could be made from adults. And the benefit of that,
they're making revenants out of adults.
now they are.
Yeah. But is
But-
that what Daru took? Do I know that? Is that
The thing that he took was something that was meant for revenants, and that has killed anyone else.
Okay. So what you took, Daru, was meant for revenants, but anyone that wasn't a revenant has died from taking it. So you,
About that Project Icarus.
I didn't really get a chance to look into
Can I
that
read
yet.
that?
At this point, Fira, as they were talking, you were a little distracted. You notice there is smoke on the horizon as the Port of Tempest is in sight now. And it looks like the city is, or was recently under siege.
All right. Guys, we're getting close. Looks like there's a lot of commotion, or there was.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna turn to Hyde. Do you,
Hyde is looking at you with like a very concerned look.
do you remember much of your childhood? I know you said something happened, but is there a blind spot there?
I mean, I've always had problems when I shifted, when I remember when I was a child, I would change and wake up and not remember what I had done. And after some time, it landed me in, let's just say they had to lock me away for a bit.
You never told me that.
Goddamn dog.
He just says, maybe we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I think we should have a conversation. All three
Wait a
of us.
minute, Daru.
Yeah.
But you haven't died yet. I mean, obviously you're still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And you were tested on as a child, right?
Yeah, I might be jumping the gun here, but I think I was probably one of the first runs for a Revenant.
Yeah, maybe that's why you aren't dead yet. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll find out shortly.
Maybe I'll die.
I guess then we'll
Have
know.
to keep an eye.
Okay. With that, as you begin to approach, you see a very, very impressive castle-like structure.
Cool. Yes.
Before we pull up to any person, I would like to focus on this new invader in my body, and use my mobility mutagen, so I'm immune to grappled and restrained.
That's
Okay.
cool.
My skin's a little like Harry Potter when he breaks his arm, like
Oh,
Oh
just
god.
a little rubbery.
Yeah. So with that, Daru, you kind of close your eyes. Do you take any damage for doing this?
No.
Okay. With this, Daru, you kind of close your eyes and focus. And anyone watching Daru hear faintly the sounds of, weirdly, it kind of sounds like bubble wrap. Just everything kind of popping.
It's weird.
You okay?
It's really weird.
Feels good. Feel limber. Well, I'm ready.
I'm gonna scoot
Take on
away
the
from
world.
Daru.
I don't have a traditional skeleton. I have a series of bladders that help maintain. All right. So at this point, as you guys pull up to the large structure, you don't see any way in. There's just this almost like a moat around the whole castle where there should be like a bridge that comes down, but you don't see any evidence of where a bridge should come down.
There's no people around.
As you look around, there is one individual that's tying up a boat, maybe about 300 yards down the shoreline. Or sorry, 300 feet down the shoreline.
Maybe we should go
Do we
talk to
approach
that
him?
guy. Yeah. I'll let Fira approach him. She's friendly.
My charisma is horrible.
It will be awkward.
It's fine.
I'll still let her approach him.
Okay.
Ah,
Which fear are you approaching?
yes.
Okay.
We can do this.
As you get closer, you notice that this individual appears to be female. They have what initially you thought was some kind of clothing. She's got almost luminescent bluish skin with blue hair that is all kind of haphazardly lopped over to just one side with very notable pointed ears. She just looks over and just says,
Okay.
"Oh, can I help you?"
Hi, have you seen
"It's not safe here."
any... Well, thank you, but we're looking for a friend.
"You have
we
friends?"
have a feeling he... Yes.
"Are those more friends?" Kind of looking over your shoulder.
Yes. We're all
Must
very
be
friendly
nice.
here.
She says, "Friendly people don't last long in the port."
Why do you say that?
"Well, don't you know what the port is for?"
No. Would you enlighten me?
"Well, I would only assume that if you were coming here from afar, you're here to work on a rig. Is this an incorrect assumption?"
No, you are absolutely right. We are here to work on a rig.
"Ah, well, as it turns out, there are many openings specifically for the Oblivion rig, should you choose to test your luck. I know people. I can introduce you."
Yeah. And I look over to Ezra like, I need help.
I'll run over to Fira. Hi there.
She says, "This is your friend."
I'm Ezra.
She's actually my sister friend.
I'll put my hand out.
She seemingly doesn't even notice that your hand's out. You notice already, Ezra, with your passive insight, you noticed, you can't tell if she's being rude or if you get more of the sense that she's just got a certain way of carrying herself and that she's not trying to be rude.
Mm-hmm.
She just looks at you and says, "You don't look like sisters to me."
I'll look at Fira. We get that a lot.
That's funny.
So...
She says that there are openings,
Openings.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Work.
we're ridge workers, right?
You have openings for ridge workers. We'd love to go in and work for you at the rigs.
"Oh, I don't work on the rigs. I simply just, I'm a fisherman. But I know people. I know who you could talk to."
Do you live in the port?
"Yes."
We would love to, we would love to meet whoever you know.
"I would like to ask for payment."
What sort of payment do you take?
"Well, since the angel men took over the land, it's become risky to be seen talking with outsiders. They suspect sovereignty spies everywhere, especially after the Archbishop left the town.
Oh, the angels are taking over. What are you talking about?
The Asimar clan. They now sit at the top, above the Genasi, above the orc men, above the rig workers. They have new friends, large friends, very bright, very powerful.
How far away are they from us?
They're about like, I don't know, how close do you want to be?
I'm gonna start walking enough to get an earshot.
Okay.
They're gonna follow Dar.
Is it really unsafe
So-
for us to be in the port?
Sorry, I froze. Did I miss something?
Yeah, would it be unsafe of us to go into the port? Would they try to kill us for any reason?
For any reason.
Okay.
My name is Shu. What is
Shoot.
your name?
Ezra.
What a coincidence.
Why do you say that?
We have the same name. Strange. So, I will take payment for getting you into the city. I can tell by the way that you carry yourselves that you do not know much of the port of Tempest. I suspect you are not here to work on the rigs, which means I suspect you wish to avoid these large and bright friends, as they can see through lies.
Who are you?
Are
I'm
you
gonna walk
helping
up
these angels?
I catch fish and I transport goods from place to place. I don't much care who's in charge. In fact, I suspect business may get easier without the sovereignty to constantly watch out. I will take you into town for $100. Do you have $100?
Pretty sure we do.
Sure we do.
If you don't, I would also be willing to accept items that could add up to around the price of $100.
Give me the $100.
Hi, Shu. I couldn't help but overhear the conversation. My name's Daru.
Hello, Daru.
So, you seem to be able to see through our bullshit. You're right. We're not here to work on a rig.
No one calls them ridges.
Sure. Fish out of water we are. So are you really a fisherman?
Of sorts. I do catch fish.
Are we the fish?
Right.
I suppose if you pay me the $100 I ask for, in a way you are.
I get it.
Does this sound agreeable?
Yeah, I think so.
You guys want to do it?
I don't
I don't
see any way around, like, in.
Once we get inside, I mean, do you know anyone? Well, you're gonna introduce us to them. Will we have a place to stay?
Once
Place
you're
to
in the
hide.
town, just act in a way not like this, and no one will notice you.
Like how you're talking or how we're talking?
I apologize for my manner. Perhaps just don't call them ridges And stay far from the large and the bright,
Okay, let's do it.
because they can see the words that come from your mouth and read it like paper.
Mm.
Okay.
I think that's fair. I'll pull out unless anybody has cash on them. I don't have any cash on me.
I have money. I'll give her 100.
She takes it and just looks at it and says, wow.
And I'll pass in like 25 extra.
Wow. She's very impressed. She says, wow. You are all very wealthy. I apologize if I was blunt with my manner. I maybe should have shown more respect for someone so wealthy.
Does wealth buy power in this place?
No. Power buys power. And with that, she turns and just says, now, into the box, please. And as you look at her boat, there's just this, it's like a very simple rowboat where part of the hull is just like a box that goes down into the bottom of the boat.
Okay, let's climb
Does
on
it
in
smell
there.
fishy?
It does smell very fishy. She says, this is the hole that I keep things that I find. But don't worry, I will not be keeping you.
Hope not. I like you.
You would die down there if left too long.
We feel very safe in your presence. Let me just tell you that.
Sorry, I missed that because I froze. What was that?
I said we feel very safe in your presence.
She says, thank you. I've been told by the people that I sometimes transport in the bottom of my ship that I make them feel safe. I think it is because my voice is so soothing.
I
That
think
must
that's
be it.
probably it, yeah.
Well, if we wait too long, the day will be tomorrow.
I'll set up a link for. I'll set up a psychic link with Asher before
Okay.
we hop in.
I'll hop in.
Okay.
Is there where are we standing currently? Like at a bridge before we get into the
There is
Port
no
Tempest?
bridge to get into the city.
Okay.
There's an island that the city's built on, and it's surrounded by water.
And we're on the outside edge.
You're on the outside.
of the water.
So, can all of us fit in the box?
It's a little uncomfortable, and you can't stand. You almost have to like lay back, like recline.
Okay.
It's literally like the curve of the boat where it's been like hollowed out.
But like, can me and Hyde and Peter and Ezra and God all fit?
You can. It would be extremely uncomfortable.
I'm gonna rummage through some of my supplies real quick and pull out a small vial. Just stare at it.
Mm-hmm.
Put it back.
I'm gonna get ready to catch Daru if he shifts.
Well, I'm glad you caught on. I'm gonna wait until her eye line like leaves, and then give a side eye to Ezra and
She's just watching you right now.
shift into a vial.
She's
I'm
just
gonna
watching.
trustful. I'm gonna jump towards. I don't care at this point. I'm gonna jump towards Ezra and shift midair. Trustful.
Catching him. I'm trying to catch him. Got my hands out.
Get
Just like in
dexterity check.
real life. You've seen how good I am. That's an
Oh,
18.
Right. You catch him. And she just, with that, she says, wow, you all know magic as well. So talented.
Oh, a little something.
Okay.
Do you have any fish?
No. And with that, she unties the boat.
We're all in, right? Are we all in now?
Yeah.
Presumably, yeah.
Well, in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
With that, she begins rowing towards the edge of town.
And
In
This smell is
our
making me hungry.
Because you're a cat.
in my head through the psionic link, I'm gonna tell everyone that I'm gonna use locate creature. We have an hour, 1,000 feet, and I'm gonna try to catch Virgil's trail. And remember
Okay.
not to talk about him when we're in the city, I guess.
Virgil's a
I feel
creature?
like
Wait, would that not work with creatures?
No, Virgil.
Oh,
Yeah, it works.
fuck.
No, it works.
It works? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just giving you. Yeah.
No, okay. I'm bad with that.
Can I hear the psychic communication?
You cannot.
Okay.
How's he gonna know when to shoot?
As a note, you
I can see.
can sense as you're holding you,
Mhm.
and that's the only thing that kind of gives you some semblance of time passing. But it's just like
I'm
the
spinning
parts
him in
of
circles in my
Okay.
hand.
That's really disorienting. You don't have a sense of dizziness or vertigo, but there is this sense of like you are just being touched, like all around, and it's you can't tell what's touching you.
Kinky.
Okay.
It's like you're tumbling through skin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I knew this,
Okay.
I would stop, but I don't. So I'm just
you don't.
If I could tell you to stop, I would.
But I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, as soon as we get close to the city, I'm gonna use a locate creature and see if I can find him.
Okay. So you cast a spell. Don't currently sense Virgil.
And I have it
but
on
you're
for an
moving.
hour. Yeah.
I would say, Asher, you know there is a small little hole in the boat that you can kind of peek out of, where there's a bit of light going through. You hear this rumbling sound towards the city. And as you peek out, you notice there is this bridge that was underwater that just raises and displaces water and kind of connects the port with the land surrounding. And you watch as a vehicle just drives out over the bridge.
God damn
And the
it.
bridge collapses.
Guys, we could have just waited a couple minutes.
I'm sure they're not letting anyone just in.
Just go in with someone else.
You should all perhaps keep your voices. Fish don't talk.
It's true.
Oh, this
We can talk in our heads, though.
Virgil.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
It is at about this time
Roll for initiative.
Where-
Oh.
at your door there is a large full-blooded orc that greets you. You've had a long rest. You didn't necessarily sleep, as you already did that. It's about midday. He takes what looks like a power tool to unfuse the metal that your brother had fused. He says,
Oh, go ahead.
Hello. I've heard a little bit about you. I'm to understand that you're the brother of the adjudicator.
I bow, smile, say, it's morning, right?
Midday.
Say, greetings. I am indeed his brother, though he may not say that statement with joy.
For that, I am sorry. I understand family can be difficult. You notice this individual does not have the marking on their forehead. Well, I was tasked with suiting you up. I'm to understand that you're going to have your pick of any weapons and armor available, and I'm one of the more accomplished quartermasters in the port.
What
Please.
is your name, sir?
My name's Jared.
A pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. Please take no offense, but you don't seem to have the air of superiority that most of your kind do. Again, no offense.
And that is because, Jared, I am not superior. And I bow again.
Well, follow me, please.
I follow.
He walks you out into the larger town, where you see a very, which as a note, the rest of the party, as you would be getting closer to the city, you would see that in the center of the town, it looks like there are individuals that are flying, celestials with wings. It looks like they are actively building something in the center of town. And Virgil, as you leave the cell, kind of blinded by the bright light of the city and by some light coming off of this structure, this is what you see in the distance. Except you would be directly under it.
That's dope.
With that, he says, my shop is fortunately very close to the holding area. Before we begin, do you have a preference?
I would have to glance at the armor. As you see, I wear none. But as far as a weapon, good sir, I clearly have none. My weapon I prefer to use is a living variety. Tell me, could you summon my weapon, Hot Shot?
Well, I'm certainly no hotshot, and even much less of a summoner of sorts. Best I could do is show you steel and titanium, my friend.
Forgive me, like I was saying, Hot Shot is back in the holding. A raccoon of sorts.
With that, he just kind of looks at you curiously and says, I'm sorry, I wouldn't know the first thing about that, but I don't have the authority to help with any prisoner transfers.
Perhaps you could inquire on my behalf. You see, this is potentially my last hour. And I smile at him warmly.
Make a persuasion check, please.
Is it a straight roll, or am I looking at... Oh, persuasion. Here we go. That would be 20 unnatural.
Wow, okay. He just looks at you and says, Hmm. Well, I'll I'll go ahead and ask for you then. Come. They'll uh they'll accuse me of just taking their money and not doing my job if I don't at least show you the gear. Um, with that, he walks you into his shop where there's this massive assortment of weapons, armor, things that have been heavily modified. You get the sense for essentially for rigging. So a lot of like heavily modded cutler gear, things like nothing you could use.
Nothing at
Um,
all.
I mean, you could probably find something you could use. As a sorcerer, I believe you can use simple weapons.
In weapons, no. I don't want to take any weapons because I want to try to convince people that hotshot will be my weapon. But as
Wait,
far as
what?
armor, oh, you missed it. Um, but as far as armor, if there's anything light, very, very light,
Are you proficient in light armor?
well, I don't even know if I'm proficient in any armor. I'll be honest. I barely wear anything.
I don't think you are proficient in any armor.
Oh, well then, my position will be. Look, I won't take a single thing, but can you give me hotshot?
As you're just looking over everything, he just looks at you and just says, "You really don't want any armor."
Just a friend. And I bow.
Virgil, right?
Yes, sir.
I like you, Virgil. I fear that you don't understand what is going to happen to you. Between you and me, I would much prefer if you lived.
Between you and I lean in close. I prefer that as well. And I smile.
With that, for the first time, he actually cracks a smile too. Here. I ask that if you survive and ever come across the good fortune to purchase this, consider it a loan. And with that, he pulls out this large, very ornate box. And as he opens it, there is this almost like loose, wispy, very light fabric that he holds up. It looks almost formless. And he just says, "Careful, it's not sticky, but it tends to follow the natural electronic charges of our body. Perhaps you could put this on. We have a changing area this way."
What color is it? Like, can you describe it in more depth?
It's like pure white. It's like, it almost looks like holy lint. Like it's this wispy, like faint wool that has like this radiance coming off of it, but you don't have any sense of how you could put this on.
Well, I try to just like drape it over my body, like so.
Okay. As you do, you feel it beginning to cling to you, and then it begins going for your skin and moving underneath your clothing. Almost as though it's alive.
Interesting. Does it form to my entire body?
It does. As it's moving around, you feel this thing wrapping around you and stretching and getting thinner and almost like compressing your body a little bit. At first, the survival instincts kick in and you get like this chill, like something alive is crawling on you. But eventually, you don't really feel it at all. And you go to kind of like touch your skin, and you can barely kind of look, and it's like this faint radiant sheen around your body that you can see through it because it's been like stretched so thin.
Oh,
This is
that's
essentially
yeesh.
a mithril chain shirt.
Oh shit! That is
Um,
awesome.
Tell me what it does, DM.
So this is a piece of medium armor
Mm-hmm.
that does not require you to be proficient with it to
Do I
wear.
need to attune to it, or is it just equipment?
It is not attunement. If you refresh your
Character screen.
thing, I've equipped it for you.
Oh, hello, higher AC.
Virgil's tank now.
Not really, but he's a little healthier.
Hashtag Virgil tank.
Yeah. So does it just raise my AC? Okay.
It does.
Cool.
Your base armor class is now 14.
Yeah, I see that. Fucking A. Now that might not seem like great to you guys, but to me, this is cake. All right.
Now that AC boost has to be good.
With that, he says, again, if you do survive what comes next, perhaps you could find my shop one day and properly purchase that item.
I bow and say, "You have my word, Jared. And if I may be so bold," I clasp his shoulder. "The word of a friend."
I like that. Word of a friend. I'm going to start using that, if you don't mind.
By all means.
And with that, you hear him just kind of chuckle, and he just goes, word of a friend, as he begins walking you out the other side. With that, it's a short journey on foot to essentially the center of whatever that structure it is that they're building. You get to this point where there's this rail system where he leads you on, where there are two large celestials that are awaiting. And he says, well, friend, this is where I bid you adieu. Good luck, Virgil. And I do hope that our paths cross someday.
Live well, my friend. And I bow.
He just gives you a nod. And then he just looks at the two celestials, and his face kind of darkens a little bit, and he just says, well, I've done my part. And turns and begins walking away. At this point, one of the celestials escorts you into the car and is essentially standing with you as the rail car begins moving on its own towards the center.
Might be the last friend I make today. Let's just keep on going.
It's a very awkward car ride as this large celestial is just seemingly staring through you.
I do another bow. And I say, greetings.
There's no response. This thing is looking at you almost like a robot. You don't sense any kind of emotion, no flinch, nothing. It's just literally staring through you.
Curious. I wonder what life is like through your eyes.
As you kind of stare into it, you notice that its eyes are very radiant and almost begin to burn brighter as you mentioned that. At around that time, the rail car stops, the door opens, and it has to kind of duck to get out, but it just stands there expectantly, waiting to move you along. At this point, you hear a commotion, as though a large crowd has gathered.
Okay. And I get out, because I imagine he's waiting for me to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get out.
At this moment, you are brought to, let me see here. You are brought to a large, almost stadium, where you see your brother in a full set of ceremonial armor, standing at the head of this elevated platform, seemingly waiting for you, and you're brought before him.
I bow and say, "Hello again, brother. It has been," I look at him in the eye, "too long." And I smile.
With that, he just says, "Fellow Asimar, celestial beings, saviors, before us is my brother Virgil. He was previously charged his duties as an Asimar and was exiled from our clan. I'm giving him the choice to join the Children of Dawn or face death by my hand as his punishment for betrayal." And with that, he looks at you and he says, "Virgil, you were given the choice. What's it going to be?" And you can hear in your head the presence of your brother. And he just says, "Make the right choice, brother."
I'd like to cast Thaumaturgy and have my voice boom
Okay.
so that all can hear me. And I'd like to ask the question, "And where would you lead the Children of Dawn, great brother?"
He says, "We will burn out every sovereignty stronghold until the only living thing on this planet has the blood of angels in their veins. Then the demons, the aberration, those from the planes of fire, water, would cease to exist. And we would be all that is left to rebuild our world."
Tell me, brother, when did the holy and magnificent become the destructive force that we chose to rebel against? When did we make the decision, and I say this loud, to be as demons?
With that, your brother laughs out loud and he says, "Don't you understand? This is what we were born to be, Virgil. We are the scourge. We are this world's reckoning. Now, enough talk. What is your choice?"
If you'll indulge me, as this may be my last breath, brother, one last question for you. When you take a life, when you look into their eyes as the light dwindles, do you feel anything for them and what they may have been?
He says, "Nothing but the warmth on my face when their mortal souls are burned to nothing but ash."
Then I say to you, brother, and I walk up to him, "Come at me, demon.
And with this, in a flash of movement, he takes his hand, raises it up towards the sky, and gestures it down. And there's this brief shadow in the sky as a large greatsword lands and penetrates the wooden platform. He takes it, has to strain, and you hear the wood cracking as he jumps off. And it's about a 20-foot drop to get down to you. And as he goes to drop, it looks like he's going to just break his legs as he goes down. But 4 angel wings flare out at the last second to slow his fall as he crashes into the earth, standing up, holding the great sword, walking at you. And that's where we'll pick up next session.
I'm fucked.
Shit.
Damn it.
Wow.
Oh,
I hope he lets
Virgil.
me have hot shot.
Yeah, you'll have time to ask.
Okay, cool. All right.
shit,
Damn, I
guys.
was ready to fight.
Yeah, I think this is best to start the next session with this.
Okay, fair enough.
I was ready too, but
Yeah, there was shit happened.
yeah,
And his response, so that was one of the variables I was talking about before. His response would have been the dictator on that. And I didn't like it. So
yeah. Well, he was actually very pleased that it.
came to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he was telling you the whole time. Make the right decision. This is what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm almost a little sad because if you refused to fight, he had a ton of plans to. Let's just say there were a reason that all the other prisoners were rounded up.
Oh, he would have done some shit.
More comment.
No, I am 100% happy with the way this went down. As far as Google is
this
concerned.
is a little early in the campaign for this, but I'm excited for this.
You went a little
Honestly,
Sir
dude,
Gareth-y.
I like how making friends sometimes work out.
Yeah, actually,
Like it's not all fucking stabbing.
yeah, no,
Abby.
especially Virgil's got a way about him. I mean, there are definitely people that are going to respond to that and want to help you out.
Yeah, like even if he dies, he's still kind of gonna go down as a martyr for like the people who he ran into.
It's interesting how it seems like at the beginning of the campaign, not the Imperium, the
Sovereignty?
The sovereignty seem like the bad guys, but these guys are like worse.
And they're like religious zealots.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I mean, the sovereignty is basically the same thing.
kind of, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I really like the Scourge because I wouldn't even call them religious zealots.
I like the Scourge
Is
too,
this-
as an action.
Are the Scourge a force that like would Daru be aware of their presence? Would Asher, Ezra, would we?
These things we know.
They're new kids on the block.
New kids on the block.
I think I had to spill some beans to Jackie and Eddie because of the one shot that we played last night or yesterday about kind of the origin, like what's going on with the Scourge. But that'll be for you guys to find out, and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but his call out to his brother was some anime shit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I actually was not expecting that.
I thought you were gonna say, "I'll see you in hell."
I'll be honest. I thought for sure you were going to essentially refuse to fight, because it's that's always been Virgil's thing, and Mason was totally prepared for that, and he wasn't going to kill you without having you fight back because he has to prove now that he is the superior of the two brothers.
And that's what I wanted. I wanted the audience, and I also wanted them to hear me call him out as a demon.
Yeah.
And so we'll see.
Sure.
Ooh.
This will be good. I'll
Ugh.
say
Endgame bosses are so fun in the beginning.
I'll say it's kind of a fair fight.